because we are sick of being away from each other.
Yeah, but we are making it work.
Yes, we are. How are we making it work?
We are talking almost every day. مش almost, we are literally
We
talking
are
every
talking
day.
every day.
We're talking every day. We're texting every day. We're texting every morning,
You're
every
my good
afternoon.
morning. You're my good morning. You're my good night.
Actually, we jump into the topic directly without the.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, seriously.
It's like we are in the same place. Like, hey, did
It's
you
like,
know this? Hey, did you see this? Straight to the
yeah,
point. ما في
there's no
مقدمات.
introductions.
No.
Is it an excuse for people to say long distance, to even call it long distance relationship?
I think it's a half truth of the situation.
I agree.
Because if it is about the physical distance, okay, it is a long distance relationship. But it's not only about the distance. Does the distance prevent you from calling? No.
No,
Does the distance prevent you from communicating, texting, video chatting, etc., etc.?
no.
Exactly. So this is why it does not have the same struggle and challenges as before. I remember back in the days when I traveled back from Saudi Arabia because I grew up there. So there is literally a distance between my childhood friends and I, right? So the way we communicated back then was really difficult. So there wasn't like accessibility to the internet and accessibility to mobile phones. You can't just decide to text them. Texting was very expensive because we used to have, the regular texting,
Yeah.
SMS, that many people don't use nowadays, and it would cost a lot. And sometimes, because of from a country to a country, sometimes the messages get lost, and you lose your your credit on the phone.
You never know. You never know if it's being sent. You
Yes.
never know if it was delivered.
Mm.
So, but there was this relief that with the not knowing, like, okay, fine. But now it's different.
You know what? We used to do something also very funny to ensure that the other person received the message. We agreed on give me a missed call before you text me. So I
All the
know,
days of the missed call.
so I know that you're texting me. So you're like, oh, there's a missed call. There's a message coming. And also, I think we lived this where we used to have like a part of the text is missing. So we used to wait
Ah, yes,
till
yes.
the
You
rest
need
of
to
the
wait for
message.
it to load.
Did it, did it.
Funny story, which is a bit off topic, but for us, the way we used to use the missed calls was for a completely different purpose, was when we were out of credit, and if one of our friends was coming to pick us up, we would just give the other person a missed call, like, okay, it's just like one quick ring, and then we know that they are downstairs waiting for us. So we completely abused the concept of missed calls. I think from my side, we had a different experience with with the long distance with the friends because I too was living in Saudi Arabia. But the time when we moved out of Saudi Arabia, this is where everything started to happen and become more popular, like with the mobile phones and the SMS and everything. But me and my siblings at least, we lived the concept of long distance because long distance is not only about romantic relationships. Like you said, you were going through this with your friends.
True.
We had that within the family. We had uncles, aunts, parents who are working and traveling abroad and stuff like this. So the concept is not in the physical aspect, but it's definitely in the connection, like you said. And it's all about the accessibility.
True. And by all means, um, even though that we had less accessibility to each other, we used to use what we have. We even sent each other letters, physical letters.
Yes.
I used to wait mom to come back from work because basically we used her work address, the hospital. So she
Okay.
brings the letters like, oh, and she would call us by name because she basically will open them to know it's from whom. So basically to give us the letter. So back in the days, even though it was difficult, but I think also because we wanted to stay in touch because it was a challenge for us, and we used to say, okay, once we move to different countries and grow up, we will forget each other. And that was the scary thing. And till really recently, we're still in touch, but also we grow up using the
Yeah.
new technologies because, again, we wanted that relationships to continue with us in life. So it's also about the well, if you really want something to happen and to continue and to grow, everything will align for you because you want it to happen.
Yeah. When
And
there's a will, there's a way. Definitely. I believe in that.
exactly. And also, as you said, the families also live this situation, especially if you grow up in a close family where your family is your circle, and this is all you have. Especially also when you guys grow up and everyone goes to a different country for work, start a new life, etc., etc. So long distance here doesn't mean that it won't work. Will it work? It will work. You're not gonna basically cut your family just because
No.
the long
No.
distance. Yeah, so this is the thing that I would say putting in a distance as an excuse
No. It's a no-go.
is a no-go
No. I
because you
just want to
never
say one thing.
tell me.
First of all, when we say back in the days, we're not that old. Okay.
No.
Second of all, it cannot be used as an excuse anymore. I mean, look at us. We're making it happen because we want to. We are still in touch with our families. It's not because we want
Oh,
to. Well, we want to, we have to, we need to, and all of these things.
yeah.
But to come to the point of the effort when you're talking about the letters, it's so beautiful how we used to put in that time and the effort to write on that piece of paper. We used to put stickers, we used to spray perfume on it, we used to just, close the envelope. I don't know, you kiss the envelope and stuff like this. You just send it out.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of effort, and we had a completely different type of FOMO. Our fear of missing out was purely for missing out on people that we know, the
Yeah.
relationships that we had, because I also went through that. Those were my childhood friends. We are still in touch, but it's a different kind of communication right now. And the way that we are keeping or staying in touch is also coming in with the effort and the willingness to stay in touch.
True.
Yes, you might drift apart, but with social media, with the availability of chat applications and stuff like this, there is no more excuse.
There isn't.
So I will ask you one question. What is the one thing that would be helpful or would make it easy to shorten that distance when two people are living in two different countries?
I think it's the regular chickens and communication. It makes it easy. And when you feel that you are a part of someone's life in terms of um, the regular calls and messages, when you are involved in the other person's day-to-day activities, and because they want to, again, to share it with you because you're an important part of their lives, I think that helps in shortening the feeling of the distance, because you feel you are reliving the moment with them when they are telling you, I did this, I went there, I went here, and them also asking you because they care. Because nobody's gonna basically spend the time telling you what they did all day long or asking you how your day went if they don't really care, right? And they want
True.
it to work. So, the one thing also that I would say can make it easy is both people or whomever is involved, maybe it could be a group of people, friends, family, agree on it is okay to be apart, because at the end you will meet at some point forever,
Mm.
or you will meet up regularly, etc., etc. So being aligned or on the same page, everyone has to be okay with it, not like basically one is okay and one is always like um complaining. The complaining is basically holds a lot of negative energy. So the most important thing is the acceptance. You have to accept that it's a fact, it's a part of your life, and you have to be at peace with it. It is not an easy thing, of course, but if the person is your person, I think it will make it really easy.
It's nice to communicate
Yeah,
about these things.
yeah,
Let's take the example of two people involved in this long distance relationship. Sometimes it's not going to be spoken out loud
yeah,
that I will be involving you in my day to day. I will be asking you and checking it. No, it
yeah,
doesn't happen
no,
like this.
yeah,
There is one of the two who's going to be initiating this, let's say, type of check-ins. How are you? How is your day going? How was your day? Are you doing okay? So those check-ins, they start to become a habit, and then it becomes something that the other person is also excited for. They're waiting for it. They can't wait until, I don't know, work time is over so that the other person can call you. So it doesn't have to be announced out loud. It
no,
just becomes a way of behavior, and that behavior is the effort that is being put into the relationship. If we're considering a bigger group, then yes, the communication is going to be different. So how about we meet in the summer? How about we travel together? How about we meet, I don't know where? So this is where the communication is definitely key. Talking about things that everyone involved in this relationship is going to be looking forward to. So again, how are they doing it? It's just a phone call away, it's just a text message away. If you don't have to call, if you don't have time to call, you send a message. The other person who is receiving it could probably be in a meeting or they're sleeping or I don't know what, but they're definitely going to see it again.
yeah.
So the communication is looking forward to doing something. It will end eventually. Understanding that this long distance is not forever. Understanding that this will come to a point where we will be seeing each other again.
Exactly. Some long distance relationships do not have an end date, like a family situation, for example, because you're living abroad, etc., etc. So, having this time of a year that everybody joins a
Yeah.
place, for example, like my family and I, that's what we do. Basically, we have a group chat, we call it family, and we align on when is our summer vacation, when is the possible basically dates that we can meet, and everyone else, every member of this family tries to
Meet each
align.
other halfway.
Exactly. Find a better
Yeah.
date. Maybe not from the very beginning to the very end, but at least a week, couple of days, whatever. So we
Yes.
make it happen, because this is the only part or only part of the year or time of the year that one of us, for example, can be together in this family or in this family reunion, etc., etc. So everyone else tries to make it happen, and we meet. We make it a must that we meet. So we, because we
Yeah.
have individually, as every person of us, have the need inside to make it work. So this is
Yes.
why I'm saying it is also individual effort. Every part involved in this relationship has to have the will. They want
Yeah.
to. So because okay, the family is meeting in the summer. I don't care. See, this is the difference. So I feel sometimes it could be when we are talking about a family reunion, it could be uh, influenced by the upbringing, how you were raised,
Yes.
and sometimes it's culturally. Maybe not a lot of people would understand this, but it is
Mm,
something really crucial. I know for you and for me, for example, and for
yeah.
many, many other people who have this the same upbringing where we basically were raised away from our original country, etc., because it brings the family, like as a small family,
Yeah.
together and made us one union. We are one, literally one body with basically different parts. So we need
Yes.
to meet every year to recharge because it's really important for us. And this goes the same with other type of relationships. I have a friend who told me that he has a couple of friends, like other friends who are like scattered literally around Europe, and they make it a point also to meet once a year, and they choose one country that's accessible for everyone,
Well, that's
literally.
nice.
So they do like 4 days trip to a country. They agree in the beginning of the year, they book, they free all their schedule, and they meet because they have been like I think they were growing up together, and then when they grew up, everyone went different place, but their
Life
connection never
happened.
stopped. Exactly, life happened, and literally everyone was in a different country. I remember he told me there was one person in basically I think in Latin America or something, and he would come all the way to Europe to meet the rest of the group. So again, it's about you as individual. You want it to work, it will work. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be uh, like a life or death situation to be in a place and meet
No.
someone.
No, no, no.
It
No.
should, because this is life, this is community, and we are social creatures, as we said it before in one of the previous
Yes.
episodes. We need
It's
each other, even, and I will say it, and I'm 100% that a lot of people agree with me. I really love my alone time, but I would never disconnect like from the people who are most very important to me, like family,
definitely
very
is.
close friends. Yes, I don't seem like a person who makes a lot of friends because I feel that okay, I don't need many friends. I just need this one or two and that's enough, right? But it's about also individually wanting to keep that connection growing and like forever.
It's not it's not necessary that you are just surrounded by people for the sake of being surrounded by people.
Yeah.
It's some people are okay with that. Others, for example, are selective because there's energy around us and we just don't want to be surrounded by just anyone. For those who are energy vampires, we don't, I mean, not to generalize this, but it's okay to be selective. But when you were talking about family reunion and that there is a need to meet so that you can recharge, like you said, I also have that. We have that within the family. And I believe it's something very important for us to do. Regardless of the fact that we talk every day on video calls, we text, we also have a family group, but seeing each other like face to face is a completely different experience. And I believe in the concept that when I am with my family, I am one person, not that I have multiple personalities, but I am with my family. I behave with my family in a different way. I act in a different way. I'm comfortable with my siblings. And then when I'm with my friends, I can also be in a different way. When I am at the workplace, I am also a different person. So it's good to be able to bring out the character in you when you are surrounded by the people that you care about. So, speaking about the workplace is also considered with the remote option, with the hybrid option, you are also going through a long distance relationship.
True.
So um, it's it's not something that is only related to family, romantic relationships, friendships. It is also related to the workplace. Having a remote job is also considered long distance relationship.
Agree
And again,
100%.
here, communication is key.
Yeah.
The more you are able to communicate with your colleagues, with your manager, and the more they are open and understanding of the fact that you are working remotely, that would also help make the relationship easier or the long distance relationship easier.
Yeah.
So even that not necessarily has an end date, but it has a time where you will be meeting at the country of the head office, for example. So you will be seeing them.
Yeah.
And making it happen means that you also have weekly check ins, you can have weekly meetings with the cameras on where you're seeing them because they are real people and you are working together. You're not just talking to someone behind their initials if you're using Teams and you're just not seeing their faces. It's very important to have the camera open, especially when you're working remotely. But if you are going on a quick call, you don't have to do that, not to change the topic. But it's very important to be able to communicate to make remote work happen. With all the technology that we talked about, I think we both agree that this should be an option
Yes.
because it can
100%.
happen. We have
Exactly.
all
And
the tools, we have all the material that can help us cloud storage, working on documents that are online, and having the camera open, having a quick call, having the chat applications, everything is available.
true. As long as, let's say, the employee is accessible,
Yep. Trusted.
trusted, and this long distance relationship between the employee and the employer can definitely happen. Not forgetting to mention that it increases productivity because it gives you a sense of time that you lose when you are at your 9 to 5 every day,
And the
not seeing
commuting in between as well.
commuting, staying indoors all day where there's sun outside, missing out of the real life, even though that of course you're not locked in, but when you are in a workplace, you're literally gonna choose to finish what you have tasks rather than leaving for a break, etc., etc., because that will just make you stay longer. So
Yeah.
it is taking from your productivity, it depriving your energy, etc. So it's really important to put these things as options because it's time to treat people as adults. And if you treat people as adults, trust me, they will, even if they are more than kids in their minds. Just give them the option and the guidelines and the way to be basically accessible to their, well, let's say, leaders, managers, etc., documents, necessary tools, and it's definitely going to happen. It's really important.
It's not even about where you are, not to take this topic somewhere else. It's
Yeah,
not about where you physically are sitting. It's about getting the job done.
yeah,
So if the guideline is clear, if the instructions are clear, again, going back to the concept of communication, having clear communication, setting clear expectations. When we were talking about friendships and travel and stuff like this, we will be meeting once a year. We will be meeting once a week, for example, when it comes to remote work. So having clear communication, it's very important and it makes everyone's lives easier.
true. So if a family relationship and friendship and also a remote relationship can work, this comes to the main basically, or the queen topic of today, the romantic relationships doable.
Yeah.
Yes, it requires sometimes certain amount of attention, But what if you don't found your person where you are at? Would you just give up?
No.
Would the distance be the reason to not try?
No.
Exactly. You might meet someone, I don't know, somewhere, like let's say in a coffee shop or in a hotel lounge or in a library, shopping, whatever, and you feel this person is your person. And but
At a bank.
unfortunate, or a bank, it turns out, it turns out that they are not living where you are at. Maybe they are just in a short trip, work
Mm.
trip, family visit, friend visit, etc., etc. And you find this type of connection with them. Is it worth a try or worth letting go? I would say definitely try, right?
Try.
Especially if you are a person who tried, and we all know it's 2025, it's no secret that the dating pool is a mess. Exactly. I don't want to say bad words. I don't want to end up with cutting and editing. It's too much. So, exactly. So, speaking from experience here, we're both adults. Everybody also listening are adults. If sometimes you find this person where you literally have this connection from couple of meetings, and then maybe you take it over phone calls, emails, chats, video calls, etc., etc., and you find there is a specific connection I cannot literally describe, but there is this connection that is unique that you cannot have with someone else.
Mm.
So it is, so you are put in this um situation, or let's say you have to choose
Yeah.
either to let go or let's try. I have nothing to lose, right? So it is an experience that you are going to grow with it, definitely, right? So if both people are aligned and they are okay with the distance and they know that they will meet regularly every few months, but they are leaving the door open to the communications in between, to the daily check-ins, to the weekly video calls, to the nowadays we have DMs on Instagram, sending each other reels. This is also part of
This
communications.
is a different love language.
Exactly, but we are no longer in the 1998.
No.
We are not. So now we literally have a lot of ways of communication.
Of course.
If you want, you
You
will.
will.
Exactly.
Yes. If it's not this, it's that. If it's not that, it's the other one. If it's not the other one, it's definitely something. All you have to do is sign up with an email and that's it. You're there. As long as the other person is there, of course. But when there is a will, there is a
A
way.
way. Actually, not just a
And
way,
worst case
thousands of ways.
scenario, again, talking about worst case scenarios, which I hate, you book a ticket and you go meet that person. Surprise them. I don't
Especially,
know, do something.
especially if you really want to have something with that person. Just give it a try.
Intentions.
Yeah.
Intentions and talk about your intentions and communicate it. So again, we're going back to communication.
Yes, communication is very important. Being accessible is very important. Don't let the other person feel panicking or let them panic just
No,
because
don't leave them
disappearing.
hanging. No, no, no.
Don't play games. If this thing is not for you, say it out loud.
Yeah.
Enough with children playing with the phones and internet. If you are a child emotionally, grow up first and then get involved in these things. Long distance relationships are for the hardcore.
Yes. It's for people who know what they want.
True. And if you really
It's
value the person and you think that this person is a catch, you will make it work.
yes. And as long as you're not wasting that other person's time,
Yes, thank you.
false promises, yes, we will meet, yes, we will meet, yes, we will meet, and then eventually you don't meet, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
So there's a very thin line. Again, I talk about thin lines. There's a very thin line between having access to someone and abusing the fact that you are able to communicate with that person. Just because you have access to them, it means they are allowing you to talk to them. But that
100%.
doesn't mean that all that that person does is talk, 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 but no action.
Yeah.
So if you say you want to meet with that person, you will meet with them. Stick to your word. Make sure that you're, like you said, don't leave the other person hanging or panicking, because that is the worst feeling that anyone can ever go through. When we were talking about connection, it's also very important to tell the difference between connection and attachment.
Yes. Very important difference.
So you were talking about, let's assume you met someone and that person happened to be living somewhere, and let's give it a try. You're not going to give it a try to test your feelings. You're definitely going to have feelings for that person, and you're going to say, I'm willing to try the long distance. You're not trying that person.
Yes.
And if in the case that the person is with you in the same place, when you are with that person, the point is to understand that whether you do have a connection or are you attached. Let's assume two people are together in the same country. One of them gets an opportunity to travel abroad. Then it's going to turn into a long distance relationship. So the person who's staying behind in the original country will be put to the test to understand, am I attached to that person that I need to have them there physically? Or am I going to be okay with that distance because we already have a connection? Some people talk about our souls are connected. What does that mean? It means that they have this deep connected relationship where they talk, they understand each other, the behavior, and the other person is giving them comfort to an extent where they don't have to overthink.
True.
So it's very important to have an understanding of the boundaries, the thin line between connection, being connected to a person, or being attached. We're not going to talk about what is healthy, what is not. This is not the point of our episode today. But it's very important to understand it. Do I have the connection with that person? Do we talk? Do we feel the same way for each other? Do we understand each other? Do we have the same vision together? Are we aligned? Or am I only attached because of how the other person makes me feel, of how good that person makes me feel, of what that person does for me? So it's not about the attachment.
By the way, I was going through Reddit yesterday and I found this story about this topic, long distance relationship. It's part of the research, right? And
Mm,
let me read it for you. So, I have my phone here. So, my wife and I had a long distance relationship for a year, moved in together for a year, and then we got married. We've been together for 19 years, married for 17, like together. I would say long distance relationship works. What made it work was communication. We knew
mm,
about 6 weeks after we met that we were going to get married. So were aligned. There were some hurdles we had to jump through first. The problem was that communication back then cost a pretty penny. The only free way to communicate was email and chat. Webcams hadn't really been a thing yet, And even cell phones still charge for long distance an X amount of money, basically, for texts each month. And with the uppercase, the guy wrote, "You kids don't know how easy you have it with your Skype and unlimited texting plans." As for the inevitable question about our knowing in 6 weeks, when we met, we just knew. So basically, they just knew this is my person. It wasn't a thunderbolt from the sky, but more of, "Oh, there you are. Where have you been?" And the person who wrote this is 57 years old.
Side eye. Side eye. Like,
So, yeah, you're saying
no, when this
when,
really this is really a trigger. Like when you want it, you will work for it.
yes,
It's not like you're going to be sacrificing anything that is going to be taken away from you. You are doing it for the sake of having the other person involved in your life. Again, friendship, family, romantic relationships, and also at the workplace. When you want it, you will do it. You will be there for it. It's not okay that the people who make the effort at work only because they're getting paid for it. But when it comes to relationships, when something is being done out of will, it's so beautiful. The effort is definitely going to be appreciated from the other person.
yeah,
But to do it in a way where, with minimum effort and taking the other person for granted, that is just awful. And the other part is when it comes to family, they are definitely worth the effort. From siblings to parents, this is the direct family. They're definitely worth it. We're not talking about if anyone has any issues with their families. We're not talking about that. This is a different topic. But when there is a will, there is definitely a way. It's amazing when someone picks up the phone, you know they're going to call because this has become their thing. It's your thing
yeah,
together. When someone just calls you, you say, "Hello?" And then the other person just says, "What's wrong?" I mean, how beautiful is that where someone just knows whether you are okay or you're not okay with just the fact of how you say hello.
exactly.
Not necessarily in a partnership, in a
Yeah,
friendship, and in anything. It could be anything. If I call my sister right now and I just say, "Dude," she'll say, "Okay, what?" So she will immediately know. It's a given fact, and that is just amazing to know that you have a spine out there. Someone is acting as your spine. And for those people, you're willing to give it back. It's unconditional. So LDRs, which is short for long distance relationships, it's nice that they even gave it a nickname or whatever acronyms they call it. It's not cute. Don't make it cute. Long distance relationships are possible. I've seen people go through it for 20 years and above. They made it happen. The other person always made it a point to be there, to show up, to just make it seem as if they were never away.
it's important to be at peace with it. I think I said it
Yes.
before, but you have
Yes.
to be at peace with the situation you're in if you are fully in with that person. It's
Yes.
important. If you, it's okay if it's not your thing, but don't keep the other person hanging. Be
Yeah.
straight, tell them this is not for me or I can't do it. It's okay. Just be also at peace with the fact that this thing is not yours. It is not your mistake. You didn't do anything wrong. You are
No.
just knowing that this thing doesn't work for me. I am a more of a demanding person. Maybe you demand more of a physical presence. You need more like physical support, someone with you, someone to go to. It is okay. But also, I would suggest look at the reasons behind it, because it's also kind of questionable if you feel that you need to be all the time around a person,
Yeah.
because you have to be at peace with
Attachment.
yourself. Exactly. It's about the attachment. And as Marwa said, it's not the topic that we are discussing today. There are so many YouTube channels that cover that and talk
Yeah.
about attachment style, etc., etc. But it's really important to put this in your mind. If you are at peace with yourself, this means you will be okay with anyone else. It's really important.
Yes.
Cannot be without the relationship. This means that your relationship to yourself is broken and need fixing. This
Yeah.
is a genuine advice I'm giving, because I've seen a lot of people, especially friends, are eager to have relationships, and when you ask them why is it so important to you, the answer is always,
I can't
because
be
I
alone.
I can't be alone. Why? What's the problem with being alone?
Yeah.
And that's why I said long distance relationships are for the hardcore, meaning you are fine alone. It doesn't mean that you don't have people in your life. You have friends, you have colleagues, you have someone romantically as well, but each one of you has their separate life they are living. You are all of
Yes.
you living separately, like you have your own life, even if you are in the same place, by the way. They have to meet their friends, you have to meet your friend, you have to go together to meet the friends of the person, and
Of
vice
course.
versa. You have to have your lives, but at some point, it shouldn't be parallel all the time. This is also
No.
something really important. It should interconnect at some point,
Yeah.
because in a relationship, eventually you are becoming one person with different personalities, let's say.
But still being your own individuals. Yes.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important to put that out there, just to digest and think about it. There are, of course, a lot of pros and cons, and
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna talk about this, gonna make it long. But um, as long as you know your end date, or at least the meetup dates for the let's say relationships that do not have an end date, like remote work, family reunions, etc., etc., is going to be okay.
Going back to the why. Why is it a long distance relationship to begin with?
Yeah.
You have people in your family, you have friends. Look at us. We're long distance. But why? Because life happens. This is one thing. For example, you moved, you went from one country to another, life is happening. Why? Because this is where you're going to be settling for the next, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
So, when there is the aspect of the distance, why is that person there? It's because either they have a job, or because this is where they were born and raised, or because this is where their family is based. There's a reason why one of the people, one of us, is available in different countries.
Could be the future is
So,
better as well.
exactly. So, this is why when you talk about it and understanding the so what behind it, or the what's coming afterwards, then you would be able to, okay, at least be understanding, and then knowing from the beginning if that's okay for you, if that's not okay for you. Like you said, willing to try. The other person could be the one who is trying. So you can't blame them when they say, no, I'm out. This is not okay for me, or whatever it is. Just be clear. So,
Honestly, it
we,
should be as long as it's from the beginning, and there
yes,
was no wasting of time in the middle, and both parts are trying. Not one is trying and
yes,
the other is swinging. No, you have to be clear
no.
from the beginning. If you see the other person is trying, but this is not for you, just say it. Because I
I mean,
actually know people who don't like remote work. It doesn't mean that remote
yes,
work
not everyone
is
is
bad.
okay with working remotely.
Exactly, same thing.
There are people who tell you, no, I work better when my colleagues are around me, or I work better when I am commuting to work. I'm waking up early, I'm going out, I'm leaving my personal space, whatever it is. So, remote work is not for everyone. So, as long distance, it's not for everyone.
True.
So, as long as we are making peace with what we want, what we need, because some people need to have their partners physically next to them because this is how they function.
True.
And if this is something they are both aligned on and they found each other, and that's okay. So make peace with what you want. Before making peace with it, know what you want, know
True.
what you need, make peace with it, own it. It's okay. We all want different things. Some people function better when they have that long distance relationship. It's not necessarily across countries or continents. Some people willingly choose to live in different apartments because this is how they function. They
Yeah.
need their personal space.
Yes.
They could be living across the hall from each other. Make peace with what you want. We're not giving any ideas to anyone. These
Yes.
are the things that we read about. These are the things that we found when we were not, we're here not to only talk about our experiences
True.
and what we see happening around us. We are actually reading about this. Like you just said, you saw it on Reddit. You saw this example, which is very beautiful and coming from someone who is, what, 57 years old. How how much more can we feel connected with seeing other people's examples? And this is the whole reason why we started For Real, is to talk about real life experiences. It could be someone, whoever it is, who wrote it on Reddit, but these things are actually out there. And most of us have at least one person who's living abroad.
Yes.
At least one person.
Yeah. I just also want to add maybe one final thing about when you decide to move from because of, let's say, work purposes, basically creating
Mm,
a distance. Always remember that you are leaving a place, but not the people. I always tell my
mm-hmm.
friends, I am leaving the place, I am not leaving you.
Yes.
So there is a huge difference. So if they want to stay in touch, they will definitely do because you told them that I'm not leaving you guys. I'm literally just leaving the country or the company or the place or the building, right? I'm not leaving the person. I'm just leaving literally a physical place. I'm still here.
In an ideal situation,
Mm.
when two people are really like this, you wouldn't have to say it again. It's just, you have that expectation from the other person. You trust them. They're not leaving me. They're leaving that place. They're going for a better place. So, but it's okay
It's okay to give
to,
assurance.
yes, you just can't depend on the fact that there's this feeling of knowing. It's also nice to give that comforting message like, don't worry, I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
not going anywhere. We can still talk. It's all about the intentions, the gestures, the communication, and just being there for each other.
So I think with this being said, we came to the end of our episode today, right? And it's a bigger topic than we can cover in half an hour episode or something because we mixed all the long distance relationship styles in here.
Mm,
But it's really important to point at it because it is a part of our lives. As you
yeah.
said, at least we have one person living away from us. Um, you who are watching might have a long distance partner. Um, we are here to share real life examples to also help, maybe giving you comfort that you're not alone. There are many other people who are living the same situation. And at the end, we are on the same planet, right? So don't worry,
Mm,
as long as the person is alive, there is always a way.
yes.
So I want to remind you guys that you can always follow our Instagram. And you can
Mm.
send us direct messages for or with the topics that you want to cover.
Because we are seeing or noticing that these topics are not being spoken of enough. And we wanted to specifically highlight on these in a more realistic way. I can only imagine that if long distance relationship is being discussed, it's going to be mentioned or spoken of in a negative way. No, don't go for a long distance relationship. It's a no go. I don't do negative long distance relationships and stuff like this. So the way that we are choosing our topics is something very relevant, is something very real, for real. And this is how the whole concept started to begin with. And despite the fact that Dorsaf and I are actually in a long distance situation, we're still choosing to make it happen. By starting this podcast, we anyways talk on regular daily basis, but putting this also into our lives has made us even talk more. We have similar mindsets, hoping that you would be able to find that similar mindset with your person. So, looking forward for upcoming topics. Maybe we haven't decided what our next topic is going to be.
So yeah, we have our list of topics that we still haven't decided which one weighs more to cover in the next episode. But our next episode, I believe, is going to be special.
Mm-hmm.
And that's enough. I'm not gonna say more than
No.
that. So stay tuned for our next episode. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I highly recommend you do and activate the notification button so you do not miss out any update. Bye.
Bye.